Welcome back, Big Orange fans, to the Vols for Life podcast. I'm your host, Tim. This is my brother Bob. And after waiting almost a year, it is football time in Tennessee. Bob, week one, Syracuse travels down south to Mercedes Benz Stadium.
I'm excited, Tim. I hope the rest of you are. I've spent the last week watching as much football, watching podcasts about Syracuse. I've watched football about App State. I'm trying to get anything that will give me a little sample of what to expect.
Any morsel of information you can grab.
That's right. We've watched a lot of that, so maybe you won't have to. You can listen to our podcast and get an idea of what to expect in the Tennessee season, and in particular this game.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of Syracuse, Bob, quickly let's go back for a second to see what they had last year. Number one thing, they brought in a new coach, Fran Brown. Won 10 games, shocked everybody up there in Syracuse, New York. A tremendous job for him. But being a defensive guy, the season really wasn't what I would have expected. Defense was really bad, and the passing offense was really good.
Really good, yes. They led the country in passing yards. I mean, with former Ohio State Kyle McCord at quarterback. Now he's gone, but let's talk about what they did, Tim, and who's gone from that team.
Okay.
They threw the ball like crazy, but they didn't run the ball very well. No, only averaged 3.1 yards a carry.
It's pretty bad.
But now I will say they did throw the ball to the running back a lot. He was like third and team, like 46 catches.
64.
64, yeah, 64 catches.
That's a tremendous amount for running back.
Yeah, it is. So I'm sure that philosophy will continue. So I would expect to see them throw the ball to the running back a lot out of the backfield. Now they lost their top three wide receivers and their tight end, which was a very good tight end. Uh, their top guy transferred to Pena, transferred to Texas, I believe. So I mean they lost a lot, and they also lost a lot on the offensive line.
Which might not have been a bad thing because their offensive line was pretty bad.
Yes, it was. It wasn't good at all. Uh, you know,
Defensively, Bob.
yeah, just wasn't good, Tim. I mean, that's the best thing I could say. Giving up 5 yards, over 5 yards a carry, which is I think 90th something in the country. That's not sustainable if you're a good football team.
No, it's not. And then their quarterback rating against them, their pass efficiency defense was like 97th in the nation. So at least they were consistent. They were consistently bad on defense.
They really was.
And then they lost some of their best players. They had defensive tackle that transferred.
Yeah, their best defense tackle.
Yeah, easily the best defensive tackle transferred out to Texas.
Texas, yeah.
And then
Their by far their best pass rusher, Fidel Diggs, went on to the NFL. He was a former player for Texas A&M. If that name sounds familiar, he was a big time recruit.
he had 7.5 sacks, I believe, last year, and on a team that really didn't get many sacks.
Yeah, when you listen to different podcasts, Syracuse podcasts, they was all in agreement that he was by far their best pass rusher last year. And even when he wasn't getting sacks, he was getting consistent pressure. So every podcast I've listened to, but they've had some concerns about pass rush
Oh yeah.
for this year's team.
Yeah, Bob. Let's look though. I will give them credit. Okay, like Tennessee, we lost a ton on offense. Now we think we're going pretty good with the people we brought in and some younger players coming up. And I'm sure Syracuse probably feels somewhat similar to the same way.
Well, they've got some excuses or reasons why they do, because they had a lot of transfers come in. First of all, let's look at their offensive line, Tim. When you start looking at the starting lineup, they got four transfers that's starting for them on offensive line.
Yeah, they knew they had to have people in. They brought in 5 or 6 offensive linemen, and 4 of them is going to start.
Yeah, Bertrand, former Bama player, he's at left tackle. T.J. Ferguson, former guard for FSU.
He's left guard, right?
Left guard. Austin Collins is center, transfer from Louisville. Zach Rice, playing right guard, is transferred from North Carolina. And a returning starter, Demetrius Witherspoon, is the starting right tackle. I'm pretty sure he was our left tackle last year. But they feel pretty good about their offensive line as they think it's gotten better.
Yeah. And I'm not saying to me, I worry about continuity when you bring in that many new people. Of course, we brought in two,
Yeah,
but two's a lot different than four.
true.
Um, and but will it be better? I would say their offensive line will be better than last year.
Yeah. I don't expect as much out of the quarterback position, though. Kyle McCord hit a little bit of magic there. I mean, he seemed to do really well. Now, they did get a good quarterback transfer in.
That's two actually.
Yes. Uh, looks like the starter's going to be Stephen Jelly, a transfer from Notre Dame. He's going to get first crack at it. And that name sounds familiar. There was some rumors about him coming here at one point after the Nico fiasco. Wide receiver, they feel pretty good about the wide receivers as well. They got a transfer in, Jonte Cook, I think, from Texas.
A&M one. I can't remember. No, he's from Texas.
Yeah, I think it was Texas.
Actually, he's been to 3 places.
Yeah.
I think he left and went to maybe Oregon or somewhere. That's
somewhere else, yeah. He's had some problems, and those are continued because I've seen where he's been arrested twice already at Syracuse.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Oh.
But he's still.
And Brand did say that he did live up to the hype.
Yeah, he's living up to the hype.
So, he's a 5-star.
But he's the guy that they're most excited about. He's in the slot. You've got a Gill. He's their speedster on the outside, and I forget the other guy's name, but he's the big guy. Simmons, I think his name. He's like a 6'3", 6'4" guy who's expected to see a lot of deep balls thrown his way.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Yes, that passing game from last year, totally gone.
Yeah.
And you expect a big step back. And you talk about Kyle McCord had a huge year, caught magic. I wonder how much of it was Kyle McCord magic and how much of it maybe was Fran Brown's offense magic. I mean, is he going to put up similar numbers as he did last year?
Right.
I mean, with these new players, personally doubt it. But, you might have to give Brown the benefit of the doubt, maybe.
Yeah. That's a good point, Tim. And yeah, who knows? We'll soon find out. I will say there's been a year of tape of him now, so we might have a better idea. They also lost their starting running back as well, who was a pretty good running back. I mean,
yeah, for the offense to have been so poorly running the ball, his individual numbers were pretty respectable.
Well, yeah, they was.
Particularly when you throw in his receiving numbers.
Yeah, the guy that's coming up is Yasin Willis. He was a freshman, true freshman last year. He expected to be the starter running back. Then on to special teams on the kicker, Tim. They had problems there last year, missing a lot of field goals. Now, they did get a transfer from Iowa in, and at first he was doing kind of so-so, but the rumors is that he was doing much better toward the end of fall camp. So, some positive there for them as far as he's concerned, but I would say that's still somewhat of a question mark.
Yeah. Well, Bob, before we jump over defense, one stat from last year that you showed me that surprised me, and that was for a passing team, such a passing team, their TD ratio in the red zone was pretty darn good, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was actually better than what I expected when I did a little research on it. I would expect a regression there because I feel like that is.
Normally, you don't see that.
Right, you don't. Normally, if I see a team that throws the ball a whole lot, can't run it,
they'll rack up yards between the 20s.
They're kicking a lot of field goals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's generally the situation. And then them having a bad field goal kicker, that spells trouble. But they was able to get in the end zone.
They converted about 70% of their.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't bad at all. Actually,
better than ours.
Better than ours. Which ours should have been really good, considering the fact that we ran the ball very well. I mean?
Yeah. But I think
then again, we have
talked about it though. Our spread out offense, it does not really lend itself to sometimes finishing off.
It's much better between the 20s. I mean, once you get inside the 20, there's less fear of that spread out. And
there's less spread to be had.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the number one thing all passing offenses have to
Exactly.
deal with. And in our case, we're one of the few run teams that kind of have some similar issues there.
Yeah. Let's go over and look at Syracuse defense and what to expect from them. And they just wasn't very good last year. Um, Giving up over 5 yards of rush, they went out and tried to fix some of that. But that they lost their best defensive tackle, Tim, who was a freshman. He transferred to Texas.
Yeah, Murad Watson.
Yeah. Like we mentioned before, their top defensive player might have been Fidel Diggs, the former Texas A&M player. He had like 7.5 sacks.
It is, but listening to some stuff on their defensive line, they feel pretty good about their defensive tackles.
Right.
They had a couple of transfers in from Florida via Marshall or vice versa, however you want to say that.
Right. Yeah, they went out and got one big boy there from Marshall who had previously played for Florida. I'm thinking he's around 6'6", 330. White, I think his name is. No, it's Chris Thomas. Chris Thomas, is that right?
Yeah, Chris Thomas. And he's at the nose tackle, but 6'6", that's a bit of a height for a nose tackle. He's really learned to get low.
And the other starter is 6'5", and he's right around 290 something, 300 pounds. Those are kind of tall defensive tackles. But they went out and got some beef, and they feel better about it. They also got a defensive tackle from Boston College, George Rooks. And I was like, well, me doing my constant digging, looks like Rooks was a starter for Boston College last year, and their run defense was actually really good. That was around 23rd in the country against the rush. So,
and they feel they got depth behind these guys too.
Yeah. So I kind of expected a decent improvement there if I was a Syracuse fan from as far as run defense goes. But it appears from everything I've heard that their pass rush probably suffered. They did get a David Reese in. He's played about half the teams college football, it seems like, at one time playing for Florida. This is his 8th year. He'll soon be retiring.
Well, he started his college career about the same time I started trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
I still haven't. Either one of us haven't made it all the way through.
Yeah, I haven't made it. Probably one of the most interesting players on defense, Tim, is probably a guy named Demetrius Samuel.
I would say the entire team.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a very talented guy. He's a true freshman who they've already labeled as early on in camp, labeled as a starting corner. Now, one other thing I felt interesting about listening to their podcast, they have split him up, and he's almost going 50-50 on offense. Now, which makes no sense to me. If you're a true freshman, you need every rep you can get at whatever position you're playing. And we try to make sense of that, and I think we come up to the fact that I think probably it was a recruiting ploy that, hey, you can play offense and defense here.
Well, look, Travis Hunter happened last year, so was every freshman, high school senior in the country think
they can.
I do it in high school. If you want me, I'm going to do it in college. So,
yeah. Hunter was something they don't understand is Hunter was a generational kind of guy. I mean, you just don't see that kind of thing. So you're going to see a lot of people try it.
Yeah.
With not near the success.
By the way, just for some of your younger ball fans, we had one. There's been a handful of players do that before. Our own Carl Pickens was one of them.
He might have been able to do the kind of thing Hunter did. The guy was pretty fantastic at DB.
Yeah, we moved him over to DB as halfway through his freshman season.
Yeah.
And because, we had a couple of NFL players basically in front of him on offense.
Right.
And I think he played 6 games, and he had an interception in every single game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just yanking him over in the middle of the first season and said, here, you're safety. Go get the ball.
Yeah.
And he would go get them, and he was still catching touchdowns on offense. And
but that's extremely rare. Extremely rare.
But anyway, Demetrius Samuel is the one that's generating all the buzz for them right now.
I really don't expect a huge improvement in that defense based off everything I've seen.
Well, the linebackers I've heard they're worried about the linebackers.
Yeah, I think there is concern about the linebackers.
But they did bring in another corner though, from Georgia, who probably was coached by Fran.
Probably Chris Bill.
So they probably get feeling decent at corner.
Decent, yeah. They do feel decent at corner, but we'll see. I mean, I'm a true freshman at cornerback. The kid was ranked, and actually, I should have already mentioned this, Tim. Not only is he a true freshman, he is the second youngest player in college football, in all of college football. The kid
Right wing's number one.
No, not anymore.
Oh man, did he actually have a birthday? I don't know.
Yeah, Demetri Thamrell graduated early. He should be in high school right now. So I just I don't see him being physical enough. If I'm the coaches, I am running the ball toward him. If nothing else, I'm going to make Demetrius Samuel make plays on me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine a guy that should be in high school right now who could physically hold up against the run, against physical wide receivers.
Okay, and be doing some rub routes out there too, and some switch, different type of switch routes.
I would target.
Let him make the right decision.
Yes.
Because if he makes the wrong one, strike up the band.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a guy I'll be interested in the entire game. They do have a very good punter, though, on the bright side for them. He's a guy that's probably on a similar level to our punter. So they do have that going for them.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a big season opener for both teams, really. I mean, I expect to go and win. We're about 14-point favorite or so. It floats a little bit back and forth.
Yeah.
I would say lay the points for anybody that's so inclined.
Yeah.
But, our Syracuse, man, that could be a huge jumping point for their season if they pull the upset.
Yeah, and when you're talking about laying the points, I seen a lot of their opponents last year. They scored a lot of points. I think they only kept like 3 teams under 20 points all year. I think Holy Cross was one of them. NC State was one of the other ones. A lot of teams scored in the 30s and 40s on them last year.
Yeah, a lot of 30s, a lot of 40-point games.
I've heard a lot of talk about the under, on this game, and
after seeing that, I'm not so sure.
Yes, I was thinking under 2 at first because I'm just really not confident in our offense.
Well, here's the deal on that. Quickly put, I don't expect them to be really holding up their end of the bargain of scoring points.
Right.
So, 13, 14,
Right.
So we're going to have to score a lot of points to make that over.
Yeah, we hit the upper 30s, 40s to bust that. Because I'm thinking it's right around 50 is the over-under. So I'm really not sure on that. And at first I thought under, but I'm not so sure after reading some of this other stuff.
Well, it may not. Hopefully they'll be under 10 and we'll be over 40, so maybe we'll make it.
All right. Well, you got a score prediction, Tim.
Ooh, Bob, that's one, after all looking up all these different things, and one thing I didn't really pay attention to was what I would predict on the score. But we'll go with that. Let's go. We'll give Syracuse. They're going to pass the ball. They're going to get some yards on us. I do believe they kind of fall. They're not hanging in at that 70% ratio against us, though. I feel fairly confident in saying. So let's go. 16 points to them, 3 field goals, 1 touchdown. And let's go ahead and hit 41 for the Big Orange. 41-16.
Okay. That's funny you should predict that, Tim. I had a very similar score in my mind when I asked you the question. 1 point difference. I was going to pick 41-17. I think they might get an easy touchdown, 1 point against one of our freshmen, maybe a Hood or not freshmen.
The newcomers?
Newcomers. What man?
Well, it doesn't take, but okay. Well, Bob, easy touchdowns are you can never really predict.
Right. It's early
against
early in the year. You know what I mean?
One mistake,
Oh, they got all year to scheme something up. So I'm gonna give them credit for a touchdown that they probably don't deserve.
Okay, so I'm going 41-16. You're going 41-17.
That's right.
In the comments below, give your prediction on that. And if you're
Yeah,
a
I'd love
Syracuse
to
Orange
hear.
fan, hey, good luck to y'all the rest of the way, not this week. Uh, put your score predictions in, and we won't make fun of them.
Right. And go
The real
this
orange.
color orange, not
That's right.
the Syracuse orange,
Right. Big orange.
not burnt orange, or whatever that is, dirty orange,
Orange, I don't know.
whatever it is. All right, go Vols.
Go off.